the guy in the bone-colored jacket, never made it out of his booth. I was one of the men who flowed around Gigi like river water around a big rock, all of us heading for the door. The sidewalk was empty except for a squat-bodied man in a wheelchair. He had a begging cap on the ground next to him, one hand under the army blanket spread across his lap. Nobody gave him a second glance. The battleship was docked at a pier overlooking the Brooklyn Navy Yard behind the wheel of an ancient black caddy. He covered more than half of the front seat. The steering wheel was hidden somewhere under his upper body. A thick skull cap of wiry black hair covered his bowling ball of a head. I was standing next to him, talking through the opened window. I'd done time with Gigi. Keeping something solid between you and him is always a good play.
"Didn't expect you," Gigi said. "Never saw you before."
I shrugged, wasting fewer words than he had.
"I did time with your boss. Thought he'd be sending Herc to watch my back."
I shrugged again. Herc was short for Hercules, named for his hyper-muscled physique. Everyone but Gigi called him Big Herc, but Herc's 275 pounds of prison sculpture Diana-ball-boosted frame made him a middleweight in Gigi's league. The man Gigi thought was my boss was me, the Burke he knew years ago. My face had changed. Bullet wounds and trainee surgeons will do that for you. But the payphone that rang in the back of Mama's restaurant still took my calls, and my voice was still the same, when I wanted it to be.
"He's still in your crew, Herc?"
I gave him the look.
"What?" he said, insulted. "You think I'm a fucking cop? They wanted to wire me up, they'd have to use a motherfucking bale of this stuff."
I shook my head.
"You're a dummy? You can't talk, that it? Look, pal, I can see you're not Herc, but I sure as fuck know you ain't Max either."
Gigi meant Max the Silent, a Tibetan combat dragon. Max can't speak, but that's not how he got his name. "I'm not a dummy," I said softly, "but I know when to dummy up."
"Not everyone does," he said, a tinge of nostalgia in his guttural voice. "Things ain't the same. These days, you gotta pay a man to watch your back, even when you get hired to do a simple job like pounding on that mook. But these punk kids taking over now, fucking bosses they are. You never know when they're gonna watch too much TV, start thinking all plots and shit."
"Those two guys, you don't think they were his?"
"Mario's? The guy in the pretty white coat? Yeah, they were his all right. Even a fucking Stugatz like him knows when he's been put on the spot and marked down for some serious pain. But he's still gotta do business. Gotta make his rounds, show some face. It was just a matter of time. Wasn't me, it would have been someone else. Besides, if those guys you took out were from the people who hired me, they would have been shooters. Those guys, they were just dumbass muscle."
I nodded agreement. If they'd been experienced bodyguards, one look at Gigi would have had them heading for the back exit. Probably a pair of strip club bouncers used to flexing their gym muscles at drunks.
"Mario could have got himself some shooters, but he'd have to go to the arms. Get someone to do that for the kind of chump change money he's holding now. Can you imagine a nigger walking into that place? It'd be like one of them wandering onto our range inside."
I shook my head.
"You know what, pal? This is seriously fucked. I get paid to do some work on a guy. I got to pay a piece of that just to make sure my back don't get cold. Turns out, I wasted the money."
"You could have handled both those guys, too?" I said, pretending mild surprise. I'd seen Gigi waddle up to whole groups of men inside, then go through them like an enraged kid busting up balsa wood model airplanes. He had all the speed of a fire hydrant, and about the same pain tolerance. Gigi wasn't any good at chasing you down. But that's the thing about prison. Nowhere to run.
"Ask your boss,"
the battleship said. I didn't say anything.
"Hey, fuck you. You don't want to talk? Here's the other half of your money. Tell Burke I still owe him a glass of vino."